This is a demo of a change in the behavior of Cockpit with Stratis. Let's create a pool. And this checkbox used to be called Manage File System Sizes, and Cockpit was trying to use the features and concepts of Stratis to help you avoid running out of space. And it was constructing some new concepts on top of Stratis, and that turned out to be not very successful. So now we are going back to exposing the raw Stratis concepts that you also work with on the command line, and that those are documented with Stratis and everywhere. I think the result is a bit more complicated, but more honest, maybe. So now this thing is called over-provisioning. We could put an explanation here what this means, but I guess, you know it. Let's make a pool that is over-provisioning, that allows over-provisioning. Here's the pool. And now the first change is you have the switch here where you can switch over-provisioning on and off. And the next change comes when you create a file system. Now you have more options to manage the virtual size of the file system, whatever that virtual size is. I copied that term from the documentation. It is in implementation terms, of course, it's the actual size of the XFS data structure that XFS is working with. And with LVM2, it would be the size of the thinly provisioned logical volume. And you have two options here. You can specify the initial virtual size, and you can specify a limit for this file system. And I think I'll change the default numbers here a little bit. So this is, of course, the size of the pool, what is available in the pool, and this is some kind of arbitrary number. Maybe that should also just be the size of the pool. And you have to know what these things are and how they relate and interact with each other. And but let's just make a file system with this initial size, or maybe even a little bit smaller. And it still will tell you it's using this much space out of 1.6 gigabyte, although the virtual size is a bit smaller. You see here, the virtual size, we made it to 1.4 gigabyte, but it will grow. If necessary and it gets full, then this file system will automatically grow its virtual size to the limit of the pool, or maybe even bigger. Depending on whether over-provisioning is on or off. It will never grow larger than the limit here, but there is no limit, so it will just grow. I'm not prepared to show that now, how it's growing, but yeah. Okay. We didn't set a limit when we created the file system, but now we can. And this is just a copy of the options there. So you have to check this, and then you can set the virtual limit here. And now this number has changed, or you can uncheck this, and now it's back to none. What else is there? Yeah, you can switch over provisioning off. Nothing happens. But let's leave it on and we create a new file system with all the defaults. Let's see what Stratis is doing by default. And there you can see it has a very large virtual size by default, 1 terabyte. And that means, although it doesn't use any real space right now, you can't switch over provisioning off again, and you get hit with a lot of large numbers here that tell you, okay, now one of the virtual sizes is too big now. to do this. You can never reduce a virtual size, so we can only delete this file system now. Yeah. Let's say you are careful about sizes and this is how you want to operate with over provisioning switched off. And now you want to make a snapshot of this file system. And I think snapshots are probably the killer feature of thin provisioning. So you know that a snapshot doesn't actually take a full copy of the file system, but it's using copy on write optimization, so it's only storing the changes between the snapshot and the evolving file system. So you want to use this now, and no, can't do it. Here are more large numbers, and because when over provisioning is off, Stratis is very careful, and the snapshot might need a full copy of the file system eventually, and so it will prevent this operation. But I think that's the point of switching over provisioning on temporarily. So now we can make the snapshot. Here's the snapshot, but now we can't switch this off anymore, and we have to monitor this thing here very carefully that we don't hit the right limit here, because then everything starts to behave very badly and you might lose data. But if you're done with the snapshot, maybe it was just for temporary snapshot to make a proper backup to tape, and now you're done. Now you can delete it and you can switch over provisioning off again, and now you know that you get proper operating system error messages that your applications understand when you run out of space. Okay, I think those are the knobs. Complicated stuff. I think maybe we can help with providing text in the UI, tooltips, etc. Or maybe we can create some workflows on top of it, like the temporary snapshotting of a file system that needs over provisioning to be on. I don't know. I think I'm happy to leave it at the raw Stratis knobs and rather work on making ButterFS better in Cockpit. Okay, thanks a lot.